welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a video about E.L.F. brushes, the good, the bad, and the okay of E.L.F. I have a good bit sitting here, so I think I can fairly say, you know, these are good, and these are bad, and these are just okay. I'm just going to start with the good and the newest addition to my brush family, and this is the Ultimate Kabuki brush. This right here is like a wood kind of material, and then this is really soft bristles, and it's more tapered at the top, at the base of it, and then it flares out. But they say this is like the one brush you'll ever need. You can use it for foundation, blush, and everything really. But the only use I really found for it is bronzing up my face. I dip it in my bronzer, and then I just go wherever I want to put bronzer, and it just looks great. I think because it's so big, it just gives you kind of like, not really precise, it's just, it looks nice, it looks natural, it's not just like cuts in your face, you know how sometimes it looks. And on the Kabuki brush, you know, subject, here is the Kabuki face brush. It just looks like this. It's much smaller than the Ultimate Kabuki brush, but this is really good for loose powders. It's not so good for pressed powders because it kind of kicks up a lot of product, but if you put this in the top to your powder, and you know, get you a little bit of product and put it all over your face, it looks perfect. It doesn't put too much product, it just looks really good. And these are also face brushes. This is the E.L.F. stipple brush, and this is the E.L.F. smile stipple brush. This one's dirty because I just used it not too long ago, but the stipple brushes are really good for stippling. You know, that's kind of what they're called. So, you know, this is good for cream blush, and you know, this one's better for cream contour because it's much smaller, but they do a really good job of blending out product. It's also good for foundation, but I don't really like stippling brushes for foundation, but for, you know, stippling and as a whole, they're really good and very comparable to more higher end stipple brushes. And this, I have two of these. This is the E.L.F. Flawless Concealer Brush, and they just a big fluffy brush. I don't use these for concealing. I actually use these for something a little bit different. I use this to put my transition shade in my crease a lot of times because it's so big, it just puts it in there just beautifully. It does a really good job. But if you have a smaller eye, this wouldn't be so good for that. But this is, if you have an eye about my size or bigger, this is really good for putting your transition color because it puts it, you know, right where you need it. And then this is the #1 E.L.F. brush in my opinion, and this is the E.L.F. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. I think they call it this Eyeshadow C brush. These two, I have 3 of them. This one's from the Studio line, and this one is from the Essential line, and these are perfect. These are the only eyeshadow shader brushes that I use because, you know, they're only $1, and you can't beat the quality of these. These are the, you know, if you're looking for an eyeshadow shader brush, this is what you need to go for. If you don't really care about color, you know, I'd go for the $1 one because they're exactly the same, just the colors are too different. But the bristles are identical. These are really super. They're my all-time favorites. And then let's go to the okay products because I only have 2 of them. And it's not that they're bad or, you know, they're lacking in anything. It's just I haven't found my use for them, so I just don't really see how they're good, you know, because I'm not sure how to use them. This is the E.L.F. powder brush, and many people rave on and on about this, but I just don't like it for powder, or, you know, I haven't really found a use for it. It's more of a, I don't know, I would probably use it for foundation because it is kind of dense, but it's not dense enough. I think that if it was a little bit more dense, it would be perfect for liquid foundation, but I just don't really have a use for it. And then we have the E.L.F. blush brush, which looks like this, and the reason I really don't like this is because it's way too small, and then it's tapered right here, so it's just hard to work with. It might be okay for setting your under eye, but I just don't have a use for that. I have other brushes that I much prefer over that one. And then we got to get to the bad, and I really hate to talk bad about E.L.F. because it's one of my favorite brands, but these are just kind of poos for me. Let's start with this. This is the E.L.F. angled blush brush, and it looks like this, and it's exactly the same as the other one. It's just angled, And that takes me back to the point that it's way too small for my cheek, really. I think it will be good for maybe contour, but like I said, I have brushes that I like much better for contour than that one. And then this is the E.L.F. Professional Blending Eye Brush. I actually have two of these. One is from the Essential line and one is from the old, it's called like Gem or something, the old Gem line. And they're just like this, and they're not big enough to really blend anything. There's just really no use for these brushes. I guess, you know, it depends on what kind of look you're doing, but for what I normally do, this is not good for me. I think that it might be okay for putting things in your outer V, similar to this my next brush that I'm going to talk about. But what their name is, they're not good for that, so they're just not good for that. And then this, we have the E.L.F. Professional Eye Crease Brush, and it looks almost identical to this one. Let me just bring it up. It looks almost identical. It's just the tiniest bit smaller. So this will probably be better for the outer V. It's just, I have, you know, let me think, my Delium Tools pencil brush is way smaller and much better for the outer V, so I don't reach for that one. But if you need a cheaper alternative, this is $1 and it's good for that, but just not good for me. And then this is the Professional Foundation Brush, and it looks like this. This is from the Dollar line, and this brush just really sucks. You know, I don't really like foundation brushes, but this one is really streaky and just not good. You know, you need this. The bristles on it are synthetic, which I get that, but they're almost too synthetic. They feel like, I don't know, plastic or something. It's just, that one's just a big old no for me. And then lastly, we have this, which I really wanted to like this because I really like this kind of brush, but this is the E.L.F. fan brush, and it looks like this. And when I got it, I was so disappointed. The you know, the bristles or the hairs or whatever are way too sparse for you to be able to really pick up any product and lay it down. Yeah, I used it with my Mary Luminizer and Cindy Luminizer, and it did okay on that if I really just kept on and on. But that's probably because it's a bigger like chunkier type of highlighter. But this one's just kind of a dud for me too. But so that's all of the brushes that I have from E.L.F. I think I might have some more, but they're just kind of lost in oblivion. Overall, E.L.F. is a really good brand, and if you're wanting to try something, they're only $1 or $3, so it's really worth a shot. And you know, the products that I didn't like, they may be, you know, awesome for you. You may need to try those for you, but I think that E.L.F. is all, you know, their products are so cheap that it's worth trying, even though you may get a bad one. So the good is really good, and the bad is just kind of really bad. So be careful with what you buy. Just be aware. And I'm glad that y'all watched, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.